So, I'm pretty sure that all of you who make content on this site already kind of have felt at some point that the algorithm has ignored you in a sense, or that it kind of just like pushes you back, which does make it a little bit difficult to grow on this site at times. And now this video is going to be somewhat of a rant video, but it's more so that I kind of just wanted to go ahead and talk about what it feels like to be ignored by the algorithm. And I say this because my views have gone down significantly since last year. Like last year, I would say that I was doing incredibly well. So those of you who do not know me, my name is Francisco, and I run this channel called Tech Summit, where I review different types of technology, and that is essentially my niche. Sometimes I touch on gaming topics and things like that, but it is usually tech-centric. So that is essentially my niche, and that is what I focus on. However, I have noticed that growing as a tech channel as of late definitely isn't what it used to be just a year, 2, or even 3 years ago. Like, it just used to be a totally different story. Even just like the simplest of videos doing quite well. And by simple, I don't mean like, oh, I barely put any kind of effort into this, but I mostly just mean that it was just a regular review on a regular product. Like, let's say I was reviewing headphones from this one company and that kind of thing, and like it would still get some views, like enough views for me to be satisfied with that. However, I would say that since the very beginning of 2021, it has been very difficult to actually gain traction as a tech channel. Now, what I have noticed, one important thing is that a lot of people are going to tell you that keeping an eye on trends and things like that is going to be critical and very important too, especially if you are a tech channel and in a lot of cases some drama channels. But in my case, for instance, that would kind of involve getting my hands on the latest tech right away, or somehow working things out with massive companies to get things earlier and be able to talk about these things before anybody else. Now, this is something obviously that as a smaller channel, I can't exactly do, and I have accepted that fate. So I kind of just gone with it. In regards to that, things like the Steam Deck, for instance, people have had hands-on already. A lot of YouTubers, like the really big ones, have already been able to get their hands on that, and the Steam Deck is a pretty hot topic, for instance, and I'm very happy for them. Of course, I pre-ordered mine, and I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on it and to actually talk about it when I eventually get it, in either the very end of this year, so Q4, or sometime in Q1 of 2022. And I guess that's kind of my point. As a tech channel, I would say that it is a little bit difficult to keep up with trends, and I think that that's what's keeping me pretty low on the algorithm. Like, just taking into consideration everything that's out there that I can review. Like, I talk about microphones, audio interfaces, sometimes I even talk about game controllers. I tend to review just like a ton of different types of tech, and a lot of things for this have been getting released, like things like the Elgato suite, for instance, that just got a massive update as of recently. And unfortunately, I haven't exactly been able to touch on that whatsoever, because these things do cost quite a bit of money, and I have definitely spent quite a lot of money on this channel as it is. However, eventually I would like to talk about those topics. However, it's just that when I eventually get to it, when I can eventually afford to get to it, it's already going to be very much out of date. Like, a lot of people are already going to know everything that they need to know about said product, and that is just a very common occurrence. And now, I'm not saying this out of any kind of disdain towards any creator whatsoever, because they're fortunate enough to get stuff early and to stay on the trends, and then that is incredible. That's awesome. I would like to get there someday too. However, as of now, if you are a small channel, it's only going to be harder to grow. as a smaller channel, if that makes sense. And that's just one of those things that I think are holding me back in the algorithm. And it could very much also be, that people just don't like to perhaps stick around because maybe they find my videos to be a little bit too long, or maybe they find that I talk a little bit too much, or maybe it's my voice, maybe it's just my face, what have you. People will click away for whatever reason they might have. And I'm sure that this is affecting a ton of other channels too. But I can really only speak for myself as a tech channel and what it's like to be ignored by the algorithm as a tech channel. It has become increasingly difficult to know exactly what it is that the algorithm is looking for in order for me to be able to continue to grow my channel. However, the channel is still growing, slowly, but it is still growing. And I also wanted to say, again, massive thanks to all of you for subscribing and commenting and liking. All of these things are very important, and I very much appreciate that stuff. All of your support has been absolutely invaluable, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So thank you, seriously. And I'm sure that a lot of other creators who might be struggling as well at the moment with the algorithm also very much appreciate their fan base too. So yeah, I mean, that's essentially everything that I wanted to say on the topic. I might be making more vlog style videos like this, I suppose, or more rant-ish style of videos like this in the future if you ended up liking it. So yeah. And this is super important. I would just like to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, which are going to be listed right here on the screen. Again, a massive thanks to you all for supporting us to help us create the kind of content that we bring to you on a day-to-day basis. And thank you so much for supporting the Tech Summit podcast as well. And just remember that if you would like to be a part of this community too, and then do make sure to check out the links to our Patreon, where you don't only get bonus episodes of our podcast, but you also get automatically entered into one of our monthly giveaways of a tech product that we have reviewed that is of at least $50 in value or higher. So links to that down below. So this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I will be seeing you all later. Thanks for listening, and enjoy.